Which college degrees will automation render worthless? When the printing press was developed, lots of scribes lost their jobs, but people who could read were super valuable to the burgeoning book publication industry. The Industrial Revolution rendered blacksmith almost worthless, but advanced knowledge of metallurgy was still very valuable to the folks designing and building machines. The PC Revolution did away with traditional drafters, but an architecture education is still valuable for building modeling. The AI Revolution will be the same. Education in any topic is never useless. Rather than thinking about college degrees that will be rendered worthless, consider a college degree that's been much maligned but likely to make a return due to AI. Philosophy. The original college degree gets a lot of flack for not being commercially viable. But philosophy is, at the end of the day, is about being human and engaging with the systems humans build. I think philosophy will return to prominence going forward, and not just because of AI. I'll give my hot take: college degrees are about proving you're capable of sticking to something and knowledgeable in a field. Lots of careers are going to be destroyed by automation, but most of these are not specific to a college degree like manufacturing. Your college degree remains more powerful than someone without one on the grounds you did 4 years studying something and likely have a range of personal academic experiences that college provides. A lot of jobs that people with college degrees have will go away, but those people will still be able to get jobs. Academic credentials aren't like machines, they don't really become obsolete. Even if you studied something totally worthless, there are still jobs that just require people who can communicate, conduct research, and compile their findings. Lots of people with BAs don't wind up getting jobs that directly correlate with their degree. Eventually all of them. The first ones to get taken out with the new wave of automation are intellectual rather than physical. Of course people will say, machines can't do X, only a human can do X, which is something people have been saying ever since the first machine proved that machines can do X. It's a coping mechanism to deny what's happening until they've lost their job to a machine that they thought could never do their job. My sil got an associate's degree in medical coding. While she was working on it, we told her, you know, your job is literally being automated out from under you. What do we know? She got a job and worked for 6 months before she got laid off and the company folded. Literally, the day after she got laid off, she got her first tuition loan bill. She now works unloading trucks in a warehouse, loving her every working moment. Anything that requires a lot of research or memorization. I know arts jobs are worried right now, but I would think lawyers would be equally terrified. Once you feed an AI the entirety of legal process and precedent, past cases, the most tedious of laws, etc., it could more quickly, more accurately, consistently, and more thoroughly argue your case. Anything that requires mental analysis and response really is in jeopardy. Sorry for the spelling. Every degree is great to have because it will show to people that you did some time doing something for a few years. It shows that you are someone who could work real life tasks, or if you don't know how to do it, that you will learn them. Basically to think how Stallone said in that show. It's true. Finishing it doesn't mean that you know how to do it, but it shows that you are ready for challenges. Even hotter take than the hot takes I'm seeing so far: a degree wouldn't be worth or worthless if universities wasn't an inherently ultra-capitalist, unbelievably expensive money grab scheme in countries with non-socialized higher education. Automation wouldn't be an issue of replacing labor for easy profit either, but would rather be accompanying existing labor for better working conditions. What happened when the Industrial Revolution came about? Farmers went to the cities and became factory workers. What happened when calculators and computers became widespread? Mathematicians became math teachers and programmers. Humans will always adapt. In the end, we as individuals can change far more quickly than the technologies and societies we create. So there's no need to panic emo. I really doubt most jobs, college degree or blue collar, will disappear. You can't really get AI to be a great therapist or a lineman. I run a water plant. Much of my job is automated, but I still need to manage the plant. There are many things that can happen that would require my input. If I'm not there to do it, the entire city would suffer and thousands will be at risk. All of them. Automation is a man-made concept. So are degrees from a university. University just gives a piece of paper that represents you know how to say the same words that the person who owns the paper says. We call that greed. You just had all your feelings rendered worthless by automation. Did I need a degree to do that? Damn, I'm sorry. School of Life, it's not the degrees, it's the jobs. A job that can be automated is one that doesn't require a lot of decision-making or original thought. Look at how accountants were impacted by VisiCalc. It didn't make an accounting degree worthless, it just meant needing a lot fewer of them. Jobs that don't require any degree are the ones to worry about most. Hopefully most. College is a scam, and perhaps I can open people's eyes that going into $60K worth of debt to pursue a career is not a good financial move. The market for most degrees is highly saturated right now, and the return on investment is awful. If we can automate some of these, maybe the US will finally do something about education costs. Eventually, in a long enough time? All of them. Eventually, once you include physical robotics, you can even have automation building and fixing the automation. I don't think there are jobs that exist that couldn't potentially one day be done by some sort of automation. Hopefully this will lead to a post-scarcity society, but who knows? None but maybe an MBA. I work in data and recently have had many meetings with my C-suite, and when talking about limitations in the data we have for these projects and brainstorm what we can do. I honestly believe it automate the highest rungs of the ladder before the bottom. And even that isn't today, but it is in my lifetime. The real value of a college degree is the degree itself. It shows you are capable. It doesn't really matter what it's in. As a STEM grad, I laugh when people look down upon humanities or history degrees. Usually, people coming from these degrees are much more adaptable and thoughtful than most STEM graduates I encounter. Not many. The jobs that are lost by automation are going to be factory and manufacturing like in the last century. Lots of really basic jobs too, like grocery stores. Higher ed has problems, but it's still the best way to invest in yourself. Sure, you'll pay but $120,000 to make $5 million over your career is an amazing return. Here's a website with automation probabilities for various jobs. That doesn't mean every job that is at high risk is actually going to get automated, but a higher ranking job is easier to automate. People who go to college to then do simply office stuff, like bookkeeping and shit. Automation will take over more and more in repetitive office tasks. So if you are someone where 90% of your work consists of those tasks, you are in the danger zone. Those people will still be needed. Just maybe not as many. All of them. You will have to keep up to date with online courses and self-learning and promote yourself. You will work occasionally and on contract, no holidays, no pension scheme. There will be a lot competition and lots of nepotism, and your social score will determine if you are employable or not. Math and facts degrees. Mostly those STEM degrees we're obsessed with lately. Except areas with lots of soft skills: nursing, SLPs, OTs, PTs, etc., and the most advanced students in STEM fields like AI, robotics, etc. I think humanities degrees will explode because morality will be more important. Late to the party, but entry-level art and design. Creating corporate content, emails, banners, flyers, etc. will all be done with Gen AI. Why am I paying someone to format a web page with CSS if I can just ask ChatGPT? Why am I paying someone to design an email when I can just use AI and Abjest? Most degrees are already worthless. I'd say those in the medical and IT field have the most value. Some would say a degree is not necessary in the IT field, which is true. But if you want to get paid more and have an easier path to the big bucks, a degree is needed. Finance. The algorithms already do better than the brokers. The only reason they haven't all been phased out yet is because it's in a debugging process. Once the benefits outweigh the risks, there's going to be a lot of unhappy guys with white-collared blue shirts. Photography, specifically in the realm of marketing. I can simply create whatever picture composite I want from scratch without a photographer, or travel. I have a low-level admin supply one cell phone picture and tell AI what background I want in Viola. Accountant, lawyer, statistical analyst, graphic design, actor, especially porn. There's about 1 million others. Don't get me wrong, there will still be some humans involved, but at far less numbers. It will be more about guiding the AI as it does the work. Virtually all of them. The academics and liberal arts fields who turn out formulaic papers with no real content can already be replaced by AI. No, I'm not being sarcastic or facetious. Rote, heavily scripted text can already be generated by AIs. I know a bunch of people that went to the military for coding that never actually learned it, and they are just using ChatGPT to do all their work. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting over here with an IT bachelor's and I can get a job and I code for fun. Teaching. The ability for AI to provide perfectly individualized instruction to each student will be much more valuable than one person who often doesn't really want to be there reciting slides to a bunch of kids for 35 minutes. Most degrees are already worthless. People don't come from most degrees with actionable skills. The only degrees that are still worth it are the ones that are required to do a specific job. The number of those will decrease. It is not specific degrees that are becoming useless, but mediocre workers in almost all fields. These are people who cannot work independently or whose work is often flawed and needs to be corrected by others. Probably accounting or finance related degrees. I mean, you may get the job where you use QuickBooks or one of those softwares to do accounting, but the dirty details you used to have to know will be obsolete. Unpopular opinion. I think the most at-risk degree is computer science. If we're talking AI, that is. The first true general AI will probably make all coding by people unnecessary and obsolete. We don't know how far AI and robotics will advance in future decades, but it's not unreasonable to suggest that they will replace a lot of human labor if when it becomes profitable to do so. Hospitality management, and culinary degrees aren't looked at very well either. 90% of the time they'll take the person with job experience over the person with a degree. Pharmacists. Now pharmacists are almost never compounding medications, they're just pulling pills off a shelf. It's only a matter of time before the job becomes outdated. Teaching. Nowadays, half the teachers at high schools didn't go to college. So long as you pass a test that they give you, you'll be able to teach without student debt. It's hard to say for now, but the simple answer is a lot more than we would anticipate. Maybe the health field is the only sector that's going to be less affected. Philosophy. Kidding, but there's a classic joke that if you go to school for philosophy, you'll end up working at McDonald's or never leave your parents' basement. Automation may impact certain routine-based degrees, but adaptability and interdisciplinary skills will remain crucial for future success across various fields.